Welcome back to another Illuminations production brought to you by Nightingale College. Today we are going to answer the question, why should you select a program with a higher tuition when the competing programs are equal in quality? If you were to answer the question, should you attend a program with a higher tuition when all things are equal in quality, your response would most likely be no, never. But I'm going to show you when it's advisable to select a program with a higher tuition. Before we continue, it's critical that you understand what is meant when I say quality programs. We are referring to the program's outcomes. It is not advised to attend a program with poor outcomes, no matter the cost of tuition. In the professional world, you will most likely be identified as an employee with poor education. It is advised not to settle for mediocre education because it costs less. In the long run, it most likely will cost you much more. Now that you understand what is referred to by quality, let's dive into answering our big question. It all comes down to what is called opportunity cost. Simply put, it is the positive or negative costs we incur because of our decisions. Here is a simple example. Let's say that we have two nursing programs with identical outcomes. One has a total program cost of $12,000 and is 24 months long. And the second has a total program cost of $40,000 but can be completed in 16 months. Please consider all else in the programs to be equal, except for the money and the length of program. For example, it's the same student, same teacher, same learning opportunities, and same curriculum is taught and learned at both programs. If I was to ask you right now, which would you want to attend, there would be most likely a universal response, the first one, because tuition is just 1/3 the cost of the second. Because most everyone answers program number one, there will most likely be a high number of applications, which means limited seats available, waiting lists, denial letters, and for some, years of little to no career progression. But what about program number two? Because the tuition cost is over 3 times that of program number one, we tend to put it out of our minds. But let's look at the cost of that decision. We will call our student Abigail and compare the cost of her decision of selecting the nursing program at College 1 versus the program at College number 2. Let's look at the moment of time she graduates from the longer program. Abigail from program 1 graduates in 24 months at a cost of $12,000. She becomes licensed and starts earning an RN salary. At that moment, Abigail from program 2 will have been graduated with a cost of $40,000, become licensed, and has a potential RN's income for 8 months. So at that moment, Abigail at program 2 has a cost of $40,000 plus she has her RN's income over the 8 months. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and let's just pick a state, let's say Utah, they report the average annual wage of an RN to be $59,810. So let's estimate semi-conservatively and say starting wage for a new nurse is $45,000. That's $3,750 per month. So 8 months of this wage is $30,000. So Abigail at program 2 has the cost of $40,000 plus the potential income of $30,000. That loss of $30,000 of earnings, if she attends program 1, is the opportunity cost of attending that program and not getting the RN salary sooner. Now, which program looks better? Attending program 2 is advised because the difference in tuition is outweighed by the income of an RN salary for those 8 months. And additionally, an 8-month head start in the workplace for some professions could mean that graduates from program 2 are training graduates from program 1. This evaluation is the opportunity cost associated with selecting school number 1 over school number 2. Now let's look at a second situation where Abigail could attend 2 programs, still with a cost of $12,000 and $40,000, but this time the program lengths are the same. But because there are so many applicants at program 1, Abigail is denied entry into that program for 1 year. Remember, all else being equal. With program 2, however, Abigail starts that year. So what is the opportunity cost associated with selecting program 1 over program 2 by the time Abigail graduates from program 1? At program number 1, Abigail waits 12 months, starts the RN program, graduates with a cost of $12,000, gets licensed, and starts working as an RN. At program number 2, by this time, Abigail has started and finished her program, got licensed, and has worked for 12 months as an RN, earning a starting salary of what we mentioned earlier, $45,000. Abigail at program 2 has a cost of $40,000 plus 1 year of salary at $45,000 and an entire year of work experience. I ask you again, why should you attend a program with a higher tuition? And the answer is when the opportunity cost outweighs the cost of tuition. Just to wrap up, opportunity cost is critical and will help you make the best decision for you and your financial future. When considering a program, please also consider these items: wait lists, available seats, cost, completion time, attending straight through, or does the program schedule summers off? Attending a college that has summers off could indeed lengthen the program quite a bit. Job placement, career services, licensing exam pass rates, starting salaries, tuition increase over time. Each of these items play a role in your opportunity cost calculation. Thanks again for joining us, and this has been another production from Illuminations.